Hello, my name is Adam Bloom, and for this assignment, I chose to do my observations at a spot in the Cerro San Luis Natural Reserve. I entered the trail at the intersection of South Tassajara and Luneta to a spot about a 15-minute walk and a 300-foot elevation gain from my apartment, where there's a perfect rock to sit on and a spectacular view of the valley. During my observations, I saw how the seasons changed the landscape, and I also saw how my repeated visits to this spot changed my relationship to the location. Over time, my view of the landscape started to shift. As I returned to the same spot, I started to feel familiar with the nature around me. I began learning the different plants that grew next to me after our bioregionalism unit, and would find myself saying hello to the coast live oak, the dove's foot cranebill, the hillside false bindweed, and to the lichens on the rocks with an affection that comes from familiarity, greeting the Cumberland rock shield, bouquet sea fog, and the shrubby sunburst lichen, as well as the coyote brush I would wave to as I trekked up the hill. With the familiarity came a sense of connection, both to the spot and to the overall nature of San Luis Obispo. As I learned the plants, I started seeing them everywhere and feeling connected to nature everywhere. As I worked on my journal entries, I would see the similarities between the hills here in SLO and back at my home in San Jose. I particularly noticed how the seasonal changes share so many similarities. In the summer, I observed that the hills are blanketed in a sea of golden grass, the sound of crickets chirping at night, and the stirring dust of the clay soil. Then, as the seasons changed, the hills quieted down and became lush with green grass within a week of the first autumn rainfall, and the soils became a rich brown soaked with water. It was surprising and lovely that spending time in the nature here helped me to feel connected to nature 300 miles away. As I grew familiar with the landscape, I also started to think about the timescales around me and how young I am and humans are relative to the natural world that surrounds us. As far as lifespans are concerned, I found myself sitting younger than most of the nature that surrounded me. From the mature oak trees and lichens to the hills, boulders, and the valley that formed millions of years ago, sitting in my little spot reminded me of the perspective that human lives, my life, is precious and how short it is. My observations became a reminder not to take this life for granted. Through the 10 or so hours I spent this quarter in the same spot on a hill, the importance and value of the nature that surrounds us in SLO was reaffirmed to me. The connection to natural life and the space it afforded me to think are some of the great wonders of this life. Finally, I wanted to leave off this video with a clip from my spot on the hill.
Today is my final observation, and I just wanted to show you the view.